And there we are, zoomed into your very living room. If you're in your living room, which I am, living in my room. Welcome to the show. I'm Marijuana Man. This is From Under the Influence. As always, here on Wednesday from sunny Vancouver. It's a lovely day here. Um, Pre-summer, a little pre-summer, but not too much. Been raining a lot, and but no changes like they're having in Ontario. And joining us from that very province is Mr. Cookie.
Hey everybody, it's over here. We're coming in at a burly 12 degrees with a full rainstorm.
Weather update. And now with sports, here's Anil. The Rain Dodgers are behind in the count. So yeah, welcome to the proceedings. Glad that we could zoom in today. See, I'm trying to find some sort of method of seeing the chat
I
today.
just see this. Subtitles. Oh, if I turn it sideways, I got chat. I see something.
Well, interestingly enough, just looking at stuff, I don't know. All I see is 420 imagery on that Facebook page.
Refresh.
Did it? Did that? Saw nothing new. Sorry, folks, for those of you who are actually trying to be entertained by any of this. I'm standing here staring into space.
It's the life of Zoom.
We'll figure that out momentarily.
I got some people on the chat, but
Huh? I get nothing.
I feel like that lady on Romper Room, you know. Oh, I see Michael, I see Beatrice, I see Sean, I see Dave, I see Becky. All stoned out there, all red-eyed, just looking at the screen.
Well, what?
Yeah, I got Dave, I got Sean, I got Michael, I got Brutus, I got Lisa in the house. Becky says hello. Becky's in Ohio.
Hello, Becky in Ohio. Let's see now. Okay, one more click there. I see some stuff now myself.
I'm like reading what I said in fucking subtitles.
Not even close. Speech to text, not even close.
There's Mike Bird tuning in as he always does. Appreciate that. Good to see you. Hope everything's okay in Saskatoon, I guess. Yes. Well, let me see here how this will go. The main page. But yeah, smoking weed. I got Rockstar mostly on the chopping block today. A particularly nice one too, I gotta say. I don't know. You know, Rockstar. Not too sure what the lineage is of that, but it, you know,
Well,
Rock.
some people used to say it was the Sensei Star and the Rock Star, and then other people said other stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never known about Sensi Star, having too much to do with it, but I suppose I could look it up on my little gizmo. Some OG Kush times Afghani or something, probably.
Most likely.
Hey, but it's got a lovely flavor. It's fucking dank and rich, like a good indica. So yeah, what's going on out there in cannabis world? I don't know that our situation with legalized cannabis here in Canada is certainly way down on the list of the world's concerns at the moment, and things that need to be addressed. That's for sure. But I'd kind of not like it to be forgotten how stupid this is. Yeah, now it continues to offer we the cannabis consumer very little as a result of this nonsense that they put together here. So what the fuck? What they say today, released that illegal producers of cannabis in BC in 2019 generated $1.24 billion last year. The illegal cannabis producers in BC.
A little bit of weed.
Well, how the fuck do they know that? Like
They got rats. They got rats out there.
there's some club where the illegal pot producers in BC go and they know everything and what of it. How the fuck do they have a clue? If you and I didn't know anything, how the fuck do you think you would find that out? If you and I weren't involved in the cannabis black market at all, how do you think we'd determine what it was worth? How the fuck would you do that? You could do that with gas stations in the province, couldn't you? Like you could easily actually go to every fucking gas station. But not with an underground black market, for fuck's sakes, let alone publish the number, not $1 billion, it's 1.2, not 1.2, it's 1.24. I went so far as to put the 1.24 billion out. How perfectly fucking exact that number is.
Like they know. They're like, oh yeah, no, we know.
Yeah, and then of course they instantly in the article go towards the idea of how this is not helping those rules, right?
Well, because they're getting that good weed on the black market, and then they don't have to go buy the shitty weed. It's legal.
Well, there you go. That in 2019 it was twice the amount generated by the BC government setup, right? Huh, interesting. Twice as much. According to these guys or whoever, they didn't back up any of their claims of numbers whatsoever. They just say that. But they've got some work cut out for them if they want to compete. Come on, bring it. Let all the people from the black market involved, and let's fucking have a free for all and see where the smoke settles. See what the market is really. Not too sure why nobody is going out there and actually computing the cost of production and reflecting it in the price that I'm asked to pay for it, rather than, as we all know, start at prohibition prices and go up from there. So I don't know. So uh, of course they continue to want to and claim to be prepared to enforce their way into grabbing that $1.24 billion that they're not getting. Right?
They're upset. They're like, we're missing out on some profit here, and we don't really know why.
Yeah. We don't know
But
really what the numbers are, but I do hope it is twice the, the legal limit. Then we have a chance of continuing to keep these people at bay until they come up with good weed.
yeah, at a better price, better price in the black market. Then we'll take it every day. We'll just be lining up. I'd be lining up. I'd be like, what? New weed's coming in tomorrow? That cheap shit? Yeah. Well, better line up now. Maybe not, but still.
No, it's sad how it's been rolled out because they won't allow anybody to treat cannabis the way you and I would like to and do treat it. Right? The overwhelming consumer of cannabis would be doing so from I kind of like the flavor, I like the smell, I like the high, we enjoy blah blah blah, right? As we all do. Yet we're not allowed to. None of that. Cannabis is no fun. It can't be advanced as anything good. It has to be hidden away. And we need to grab that $1.24 billion.
Well, they're missing out on what? Half the profit, they think. So it's like,
Yeah. It's better. So what? Adam Greenblatt from Canopy Growth, I saw remarks that he made about the black market and how he bolstered that the legal market was having a big impact on the black market. The pounds are now fucking $600 to $800. And,
maybe for the weed he buys, but not the good stuff.
but whether or not that's true, it's also an indication, if in fact it was for the good shit, which I doubt that it, at those prices it is, or even that anything at those prices is actually available. Like there isn't that grand of a scale here of quality of weed versus price, right? Oh, I've got the, $1,000 a pound over here, and oh yeah, I got this. Maybe a little bit. But we're not that stupid. Nobody in the black market is. They kind of know what sells and what people like, and this is good weed, that isn't. At some level here, depends. But you go to your guy to get the weed and it's all moldy. What do you say? Yeah, I'll take that and pass it on. That might happen sometimes. People buy out of desperation that there's nothing else, and then they know that it could sell. But I don't see a lot of deception. People aren't like that in the black.
No, it used to be like that way back in the day, even, but not even as much. Like you never go to your dealer's house and he's trying to sell you some swag. If it wasn't that good, he'd say, "Oh, I got some stuff. It's not that good." You're like, "Oh, really?" Like, but I'll have new stuff in a couple days or whatever. Maybe he had new stuff in his room, but whatever. We'd buy that stuff, and knowing that it wasn't going to be quite the best. But he told us it wasn't going to be the best. We're expecting, not the best. It was easy and honest. We were like, oh, okay, it wasn't the best. Oh, yeah, he's right. It wasn't so good. I got to hire it on.
Because you get a chance to even have a look at it at every level. Right? Yeah. So I came across an article that Actually, it was interesting. It says legal pot has trust issues. But still, they don't actually talk about the quality of the cannabis. And so, never an article that I read, this was coming at it from a point of view of not getting the amount that you bargain for. Nothing about the quality in general. A lot of people complaining that they didn't actually get what they paid for. Having to do with the weed sitting around for a very long time, poorly packaged to protect it from such things. And in this article, it talked about they likened it so quickly to alcohol, saying, "Oh, this isn't marijuana doesn't age like whiskey and wine and stuff like that, right?" You go, well, no, but if it did, you would think that it would have done that already before it hit the fucking shelf, just like your whiskey and your wine. It's not like you buy your whiskey and take it home and age it.
You get the cheap shit at 2-year whiskey, but you don't drink it for 10 years, and you got 12-year-old whiskey.
Yeah. I got a bottle of 10-year-old, 12-year-old Johnny Walker that hasn't been opened, so it's exactly the same as it was the day it went in there.
So they say, yeah, I guess, yeah, because it's aged in the oak barrels.
Yeah, it's already done that, but so yeah, they still aren't prepared to reckon with the idea that they've not been able to produce as good a product for as cheap a price. Like, astonishingly enough, no one's come to that conclusion in any article. They just say it's because the legal producers and sellers have to spend so much money to get to be legit. We spent all this money, did all this work to become legitimate. That's why our weed is more expensive. They don't say, hey, because we've taxed it. Hey, because we artificially put an extremely high price on it behind the scenes to begin with. So, what the fuck? What are they thinking? Refusing to ignore the fact that it's a lot cheaper. You could undercut the black market in a fucking heartbeat. You'd think. Come on, how could it be? How could cannabis be worth this much money to produce? Ooh, where's the big jump in the amount of money from production to me?
Yeah, and has any of those guys ever demanded, the legal guys demanded a test from some black market weed that was maybe confiscated by the police or whatever, and their weed to see if it was any different, contaminant wise or anything, and they're like, oh, maybe the legal weed, it's cleaner or something, but we know it's not, and they'd be like, maybe even worse coming from the legal side, so that's probably why they don't do it.
I don't know. I've never needed my cannabis to necessarily be inspected under a microscope.
Well, just a microscope's fine, but not a full test of everything that's in it anyway, a good visual inspection can tell you kind of what's going on there.
Well, yeah, but that's doesn't make an industry. If you and I have the opportunity to have just a visual inspection and choose what we like we can do anything else, for fuck's sakes, why do you put your donuts out then? Like, why the fuck do I get to see anything? Why isn't everything prepackaged and hidden away and presented in questionable condition? What the fuck is that? Why do I deserve that as a cannabis consumer? What the fuck did anybody ever do to anybody to be treated this way?
Yeah, it'd be like every time you bought a muffin or a donut, the muffin top was just ripped in half, and or the donut's like ripped in half in the bag. You're like, oh, what is this?
No, you're not allowed to look at it. You look
Well,
at
they don't give you there's a display donut and a display muffin, but they don't give you that one. They just kind of pull one out of the back in a bag. Here. Hard to open bag too, probably. So you can't even just have a peek in the store, you know? Like
yeah. No, can't see it. No, it's ludicrous and childish, but
I also don't think you can open the weed in the store. Like, you know, like even if you're at the counter and you pay for it and they give it to you.
cannot open it in the store. No way. Are you nuts? No one's to look at their weed until they get home.
Got to be at least 10 miles away or something.
And then you put it in a gun safe, buried in cement in the basement. You put that rug back over it. So no one knows.
It's like in the safety deposit box at the bank.
So, trust issues, oh my God. They don't even come close to talking about the trust issues that we really have. See, it's fucked, right? Because I don't know, they're just embarrassed in a way. They know that they're hijacking this industry from one that already existed. It could have easily and very cheaply and simply been integrated into our world, but they're fucking embarrassed by their approach. And that's why they don't want to hear from us. Anybody who actually gives a fuck about cannabis. Right? What about us? Nothing. We didn't get fucking anything out of legalization to further our desire and approach with cannabis. It got rolled back a lot and ripped out of our fucking crying hands, for Christ's sakes. Who does that in this world anymore? I guess, if that's the way real business is. Holy fuck. Ruthless. Right?
Sounds about right.
The government wanted to start a cannabis for sale business. They should have started one themselves. Fuck you, raping the fucking black market for everything that was there. Every seed, every strain, every name, every fucking bit of information about cannabis put together by us, people who like cannabis. Right? How the fuck do you think any of that was there?
Well, and they still didn't even get it right. It's like they just looked at it all and only got like some of it. It's like they read not between the lines, but like outside of the lines. You're like, why would you do all this stuff? Like it's all the infrastructure, everything's right there. If you just look at it and go like, oh, is that what happens? Oh wow. Oh, it's not very much to produce it. Oh, if you just do it in a clean, sanitary way, you can produce healthy cannabis. Oh wow, you know, like
And hey, we probably don't need to charge as much. But nobody's approaching it from that point of view. Because they had to pay a lot of money to get a license to be able to do it, and they're going to charge me hard for it. Right? You go, what the fuck? I don't deserve that. Fuck you. Nobody else does that.
true.
I really feel penalized here by the world continually for consuming cannabis, for fuck's sakes. Even in the face of all the information, fully well making it clear that there's no danger here. So, I don't know. It's just wrangling. It's all, and then the whole industry that exploded around this potential of fucking abusing me more. You go, oh wow, it's legal now. Let's make Greg pay fucking even more for it, and then we'll add some tax. make it, even more than he's ever paid. Let's do that.
Yeah, the most expensive pot in the world was some of the legal pot or whatever. It's like, oh, what?
Well, it's stunningly stupid, the prices that I actually see. It's,
Pretty much all of it, except for maybe like, I don't know how much. We'll say like 10% or less is cheap, but it's probably just garbo. Is like more than an ounce would have been in New York in the fucking 80s or 90s. Like, like rappers talk about buying ounces of weed in New York in the 90s. They're paying like $300 to $500. That's
Yep.
nothing on these prices, man. You walk in a party with an ounce of legal weed, you're a baller.
Yeah. But nobody wants to smoke it with you.
Yeah, stupid baller.
But so that's, a point of contention here that's actually just being completely ignored, as all cannabis users have just become ignored. Don't have a fucking leg to stand on as a recreational user here when it comes to the cannabis scenario. We are the ones particularly treated like fucking nothing instead of valued customers and potential customers like any other industry might want to do.
Yeah, just hopping around like fucking a bunny.
Where do they think the $1.24 billion is coming from? But out of our fucking pockets. If this in fact is true, then we'd be a fairly powerful member of the marketplace in cannabis here in BC. Twice what the legal market is able to generate at a much higher cost.
Like, why?
Yeah, it ain't going anywhere. It never will, never has gone anywhere, has done nothing but fucking expand under prohibition and oppression. So, what's the government expect? They're just fucking morons and crooked, right? They're just crooked about it. Because it makes so much money. Prohibition's worth too much to end. Unfortunately, that's the problem. If it wasn't worth anything, they wouldn't give a fuck.
Yeah, they're not trying to control romaine lettuce. Oh yeah, wait, they are. But
So I'm glad to see that people are talking hard about defunding the police. Absolutely needs to be done. These people have become, organizations have become rogue armies out of control here in our society and sucking up billions and billions of dollars as a result because they like doing it. Right? They like being a rogue army, doing whatever they want.
who wouldn't? Like that's the dream, right? Living the dream.
And able to somehow wrest out as many billions of dollars of taxpayers' money as you possibly can think of.
Every year, just we need more. Like captain to captain, they're like, okay, this is my final year. You're taking over, bud. Yeah, okay. Well, here's how you do it. Every year they ask you for your budget. You give them your budget, and you add more.
Yeah. So, no, it's way out of control, and the rogueness of this army really is rearing its ugly head here in the world finally. Not finally, but thank God people are seeing what's going on and coming to some sort of conclusion that it needs to stop. So hopefully there's millions more have come to the fold of knowing this and wanting it to end. See, we cannabis users are, we've been going at it for a long time here, being totally oppressed by this fucking world and pushed around and taken advantage of because of our choice of smoking this fucking stupid little plant.
Little.
it's just a plant. A plant that I might add is being ripped to fucking pieces by the world, trying to, I don't know what. The amount of research and fucking phenomenal amount of fucking studies and stuff that I see, you go, oh my God. Like, we don't even have real good marijuana yet. From my personal recreational point of view, nobody's doing any research on how to make better weed for me at a cheaper price.
Well, or are they trying like the high quality weed in these testing things? They're just using like some swag, you know, that they got donated from like an LP maybe that has like shittier weed that they couldn't sell, and they're like, "Oh, we'll donate it for testing. Here you go." And they're like, "Oh, thanks," you know, and they're like,
Well,
"That's good."
here's another thing that's going on around that is that the legal producers, and I don't know, I think this article came out of the US, but what's been going on is that the legal producers there are shopping their weed around from different lab to different lab, looking for the highest fucking THC and going with that lab. Right? So, anyway, I saw this article. It had an unusual fucking title saying that science has revealed that the cannabis has revealed the cannabis industry's greatest lie.
Ooh.
Yeah, science has revealed this. The cannabis industry's greatest lie. And that greatest lie is that we're all buying our cannabis wrong. This was an article in Forbes magazine. A fucking Financial Post. Fucking like, Forbes? What? Why are you even caring, or the fuck's going on here? But we've been all buying our pot wrong. And the thrust of the article was about THC percentages and how the cannabis that has the high THC percentages is flying off the shelves, and those that have a lower are not. And then an analysis of whether or not this would be makes any difference. That many people, most of the producers are saying, well, you know, at 18%, it's kind of my favorite weed. Has best flavor, has the best high, but it won't sell. In fact, they said we have to trash it because it doesn't test 25. Right? So that's fucking stupid. Nowhere in the article they question THC percentages, but not from the point of view if whether or not they mean fucking tasting, let alone, right? If the whole thing isn't just doctored up. Still in all, they continue to accept the process of, I don't know, like it just, and here's the thing that science revealed. The cannabis industry's greatest lie was science testing cannabis for THC percentages. Science revealed that it is a fucking liar itself. Doesn't science come up with the THC percentages?
Probably.
The biggest lie, but science revealed it to us? Fuck off. Sick of science. Science is just a word now. And it means a lot right now in this pandemic world. Science. Listen to science. 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 Wow. Unfortunately, they can't be trusted either.
Nope.
Science. Come on. How come there's so much science? It doesn't agree with each other. If there was
Yeah,
science, wouldn't it be the one thing and everybody would know?
all over
No.
the place.
A lot of questions back and forth. This is right, this is wrong, you shouldn't. Right, from science. Look at the science. Yeah, we sprouted beans in science in fucking grade 6. Wasn't it? Something like that.
People odds, yeah.
Science, wow. Which wasn't really science, but it was botany.
Biological science, they called that.
No, it's unfortunate that the world is pretty ingrained in the way that it goes. And hopefully that through a lot of what's been happening in the last little while, and everybody's been home for it, so it's not like you missed it, what the fuck's going on in the world, but some changes are coming, I would hope. I do hope desperately. We have to stay on this defunding the police. Means not giving them as much money and rolling back their fucking role in society. We don't need them attending things where they're going to shoot people for no fucking reason.
They're trigger happy all over the country here, so it's like, Jesus, guys, come on. It's only gonna get worse. Like now, there's more cameras and shit. You figure like, if you were gonna be a bad cop or a bad person or even like a thief or whatever, it's different now because there's lots of cameras everywhere. So it's not like it's I don't know. It's not like back in 20 years ago or 50 years ago when a bank robber robbed a bank. He just went to the next town and it was like pretty good, you know. Now
Yeah.
it's like no, that stuff ain't happening. So it's like same as that. Just doesn't make any sense why they would want to even like begin that, you know?
Yeah. No, it's totally insane. I believe that like the people that the police are shooting are mostly fucking indigenous people to begin with, more than ever and anytime, because they hate them, and mentally unstable people because they don't know how to control them. They don't try to control them or help them, or right. So what the fuck? Oh no, the police need to be fucking disbanded for fuck's sakes in a lot of ways. The RCMP should be just fucking finished. They were created for racist reasons in the beginning, and they've operated that way ever since. And they need to stop. But that's asking a lot, isn't it? That's
Wow. But it's not really, but yeah, whatever.
they're barely held accountable for their actions, no matter what those actions are. So I'm not too sure getting rid of them is going to be an option. But I hope the world sees that these people need to have oversight. Got to raise their standard of cadet. They've been traditionally hiring people in the police and army who ain't that fucking smart. I don't know, I shouldn't say it that way, maybe. But people who are certainly willing to do things because they're told to. This is the important issue here. Don't be asking too many questions.
Don't think for yourself.
Yeah. Which is an unusual position to request in a public servant designed to protect you and me from anything, which is a fallacy to begin with. I'm not fucking here to protect me from anything. How could you do that? Someone burst in the house right now with a gun. How, in God's name, is any money going towards the police actually helping me in that situation? Nothing can protect me. So stop telling me you are serve and protect.
Yeah, even if you called them, they're not just gonna like be right there. Like, you know, there might be a chance that they're driving nearby and they're close by and they get a radio signal, but
Well, where's my phone? Let's find out. I'll call
ah,
a man with a gun at this address. He'll learn it takes me to get here. It's a pretty nice neighborhood, so they're apt to be quick.
be quicker, yeah. And I'd call from my East Van place and they'd just be like, you know, half an hour, 45 minutes later, they'd call, oh, you still need that?
Well, so I don't know. Science. I think somebody should sue them for their THC percentages and get them to fucking prove what they're talking about here.
Well, that's what's happening with the edibles. A bunch of companies are getting like a Supreme Court lawsuit because they claimed whatever and have like more or less or whatever. Their numbers are not right.
They're getting sued for it, which is interesting. Well, it has to come out. Eventually, the truth, I hope, would come out about what these THC percentages actually are and fucking even mean to me and you. I don't give a shit. I've smoked a lot of cannabis, folks. The best, the best, the best, and good and bad and all in between. THC doesn't fucking matter. Right? Good weed's good weed. It's easily understood by those of us who consume it. And I don't give a fuck, quite frankly, if the rest of the world understands it at all. Stop prohibiting me from having it and go fucking to hell. I don't care. Why do you need all these explanations about what cannabis is? What it does, which one, CBD, CBD ABC or CBD ABC or fuck off, shut up, idiots. You haven't even allowed those of us who brought this to you, I might add, to even examine, to have in your hands. It was people like us who wanted it, that ensured that it was here.
Fought for it to be legalized.
Yeah. And you, probably the very people who said no the whole time, now you want to know everything. Shut up. Go do it. I don't care. Go figure it out on your own, but leave fucking ours alone. And quit getting in the way of whether or not it's safe. Fuck off. Cannabis is safe, so I don't care what it's made up of. I, again, have smoked a lot of cannabis and for a very long time. I'm fully capable of knowing what I like. Thank you very much. Don't need anybody telling me any fucking thing at all. You got better weed? Bring it.
I'll tell you if it's better or not. Yeah, we'll smoke her down. Oh, that was really good. Right on, man. Good job. Or try this. You'll agree that this is probably better. Well, you don't even tell them. You just smoke the other weed with them, and they're like, "Wow, that was really good." You're like, "Right on, thanks. Yours was all right too." Man.
But no, we can't have that. Here's what COVID has done for the world most recently is to change and relax a great number of alcohol rules here in our world. They just made alcohol way more accessible and places to consume it. Came up with new places to consume it for you, you alcohol consumers, because of COVID-19. Right? How the fuck does this even happen?
Yeah, because you can get takeout with your takeout food. If they serve booze at that place, you can get like, I guess with like, I don't know, probably a martini, but like Ryan Coke or whatever to go cup, and they give it to you like with your food.
Oh yeah, and they're allowed to make deliveries too.
That's right. That's right.
They're also relaxing and streamlining the process of getting a patio license, right? For some unknown health reason, other than to bring all those people outside drinking alcohol that impairs your immune system, sitting there on the sidewalk that I have to walk beside.
And they're going to be yelling.
I noticed that there is not room to self-distance on the sidewalk from those approaching because of the patio. The booze patio has not left enough room for the rest of us to do that. Along with billboards and anything else they want to jam out there on the fucking street. There ain't enough room. You got fruit stands halfway out into the fucking sidewalk. And a little tiny sidewalk, which before was okay. Now it's not. And where the fuck are you supposed to go?
You duck out onto the street and fucking dodge cars.
Ludicrous. The bank's open. But as I went down, I go down the alley to the few alleys. There's the bank coming at it from behind. And I guess there's so many fucking people standing in a line to get into the bank that I could not. The line came all the way down and across my path to be able to get to the bank. I had to go through the fucking lineup of people to get somewhere close to the bank. Is the way they set up the line. It's fucking insane. The banks are particularly insane. Oh yeah, they're coming out and get your name in the line, and they'll call you in when the guy is available. What banking need do you have? And luckily,
Do it for you, eh? Like they'll almost do it for you. I didn't have my bank card, didn't work, so she like took my bank card in. She went in. I guess they asked a security question or whatever, right? So she forgot that whatever I guess asked me. So she came back out, asked me whatever question. I gave her the answer. She went back in, then came and got me. Well, what were we gonna do? I was like, oh, I'm just trying to take out some money and deposit a check. And she's like, oh, can you use the ATM? And I'm like, well, no, that's my card doesn't work. So they took it away again and sorted it out, and then made me try it. And I was like,
yeah, escort you to the ATM.
yeah.
Well, fortunately for me, I'm just there to use the ATM, so there's no one in there. You just walk right in and do that. I don't need to talk to the bank, thanks. But yeah, it's fairly regular out there these days, except for people having to stand in line to get into places to shop. Interestingly enough. All right, so. And the wrangling over when's it gonna end?
Yeah. Oh yeah, all this stuff. It's a tricky one. I'm like,
And to the degree of absolutely every segment of society making some sort of decision, I guess, on their own as to what's going to happen and how they're going to handle it.
yeah, everything's about the new moving forward and this and that and
There's a beach in Ontario on Lake Huron called Sauble Beach. And it's where I grew up as a young kid. We had a cottage there. We went there every summer. Spectacular place. Closed. Shut her down. They closed it to everyone. It's like the movie Jaws.
exactly, but there's no fish in the water.
So if you ruined it for everybody, very popular beach, and people went there. So things that you want to do, they can't pull their shit together to figure out how you should be able to do it, or I don't know how that all works, but really. So eventually, all these health people across the land who have been heralded as saints for keeping us all alive, eventually society will turn on them because that's what we do.
Hard to, yeah.
Even if we don't want to, that's what the world does. So
Bred into us.
it can't last forever. But yeah, I don't know. The government's never, and these health people have never been wants to be trusted. That's for me an important factor in anything. So we can't trust what they're up to. They might not be up to anything, but they're just not fucking capable or have our best interest necessarily at heart, depending on how they can capitalize on stuff that they didn't even know would happen. Like Dr. Bonnie Henry here in BC, she's the head doctor. She, as far as I can tell, profits off the alcohol industry. Huh. She owns a vineyard, for fuck's sakes. Who are also in trying to get their rules relaxed. I don't know. There's some rule in the wine industry here in BC that if you're allowed to ship wine to people over the internet, but the wine has to be shipped from your vineyard.
Oh, a direct sale.
Yeah, you can't ship it from the warehouse in Vancouver. You can have your wine in a warehouse in Vancouver, but you can't ship it from there. I don't know why they have their wine in a warehouse in Vancouver if they know they can't fucking even ship it to somebody in Vancouver until they ship it back to the fucking vineyard. I'm not sure why they're whining about this. Wouldn't you have that figured out for yourself?
Well, and the vineyard's only in the Okanagan. Load up a truck, bring all your wine back till this is over, guys. You're going to be sending her from there now. Here's how it works. Done.
It's got to be cheaper fucking places in Kelowna or wherever your vineyard is. Build your own storage.
Yeah, like just put some boxes over in the corner, that corner that's empty, fill it up with wine.
Get why. But they want those rules relaxed so they can ship right out of their Vancouver warehouse. Which, interesting. And they'll get yes to that request eventually because they're relaxing all sorts of booze rules right now. Keep people fucking placated around everything else. With it fully admitting that this fucking pandemic is causing people to consume more alcohol. So let's make it easier for them to do that. That should help.
Yeah, get it in their hands easier now.
Yeah, give more access. No, it's
Well, yeah, if the liquor guys were smarter, they would do like Montreal and Quebec and be like, let's just get in those corner stores now. Let's jump on it, let's give them that access. Boom. Now we're fucking 10,000 locations.
well, they're gonna let people drink in parks and beaches here very soon. Pretty sure. So, which I don't know. To me, it's not the end of the world. I don't care. It potentially could increase the amount of drunkenness or reduced inhibition because of the alcohol consumption. But we'll have to see. But they don't care. It's not a healthy product. I don't know why it's been treated that way. It shouldn't be. It's kind of hoodwinking the world here. Alcohol industry and the ramifications of consumption overall.
Yeah, it's done a lot more damage than good.
The head doctor who owns a vineyard It's not even part of her portfolio as a health official. It's not considered to be in the health realm whatsoever. So I don't know how she even got to conclude that alcohol was an essential service here in BC throughout this.
Probably did a little planning. She was like, "Well, we get the booze out of the vineyard, we won't lose money."
Make it easier to get a patio license, or everybody's so accommodating to the booze world. It kills fucking thousands and thousands of people every year here in the world. Holy fuck! Compared to cannabis, which has been hidden away, price has been jacked up, quality is questionable.
Yeah, it's like we're in a legal industry with if this was like the booze industry, it'd be like we're legal, but we still have moonshine or black market booze, you know?
Yeah.
It's questionable.
And hidden so that you don't even know, and crap shoot as to what you're going to get. The fuck?
Till it's too late.
And a bunch of warnings that aren't real. THC
Well, they
percent.
might be for the legal stuff because you see that stuff. It could have all these chemicals that could cause things in them. Where the black market weed's growing with more care and cautious.
So that's why people should invest in the black market. It's the best cannabis stock, STALK, to invest in is the black market. See, us poor recreational people who don't have a fucking leg to stand on here. They're the ones that are to take all the abuse given out about cannabis. Beyond the medicinal user of the CBD, and a lot of these other people are singled out for their use of cannabis, whereas mine needs to be fucking hidden away and pretended like it's dangerous. And what? Why? What the fuck indication has there ever been in this world that it needs to be like that? Because these pricks at Health Canada and in the government are they just lied too long about the dangers. They can't stop. If they stop, they're afraid that people are going to go, well, you said it was dangerous. You can't. How come? How come now you're saying it's not? So they never will. And for some reason, they get away with being able to say whatever they damn well want about the potential danger. In fact, they say very little. Public health, public safety. That's it, that's all. Cannabis. So, safety covers the cops. They got to be in on the action. Public health covers the health people. They got to be in on the action. We continually have and traditionally have maligned cannabis and looked for the dangers that would support the enforcement, but they've never ever found any. They keep looking, can't come up with any, and for some reason continue to allow them to keep looking and to keep the potential danger at the forefront of cannabis. Potential. They don't put the pot in the potential. That's the only problem. They won't look at cannabis to see what the fuck a potential is, because it doesn't meet what they want their potential to be. It's dangerous. We're sticking with that because it's worth billions. That Greg and all the rest of the cannabis consumers out there should have to pay for. You want cannabis? You gotta pay. You go, well, why? For what reason, you fucking thugs? So, the whole industry is, to me, nothing but a new bunch of thugs in the black market. Same kind of fucking scenario, isn't it? You're buying my weed now. The guy at the head of it all is saying, and all his other buddies are backing him up with all the rules and regulations, and none of which is designed to come up with good cannabis. Unfortunately. So, what are we going to do? They're all tanking Aurora, downsizing. Yeah, and the articles that I read in the fucking Forbes and the stupid business world they come at it from the weirdest fucking point of view here, these guys. Really, how it's a very good thing that Aurora is resizing.
It's like they never understood marijuana. So they're like, oh, downsizing, that's going to increase their overall revenue. But like, if you're selling crap, large amounts of crap, and then you go to small and you're still selling crap.
Even if the rules, because of the rules, are that's wrecking cannabis as well. And I don't really give a fuck what the legal industry is doing. I don't care if you're 100% organic, which I think you'd actually going to make me pay extra for no apparent reason. Right? No apparent reason why organic cannabis should be cheaper to me than fucking any other kind of cannabis growing.
But no.
Organic is going to be more.
That's because of fucking organic bananas. So it started there.
You use less shit to grow it. You don't even do anything to it to grow it organic. Anybody grow organic is the cheapest way to go. Everyone should. What's the difference? Organic or even, I don't know, some of the best weed I smoke is not organic in the technical sense, chemical source of nutrients.
Yeah, growing with salts or whatever, but whatever. Still good. It's gone at the end. That's,
Mixed by the grower himself and flushed however they flush. So, and some of the best I've ever had. So it doesn't really matter. And the rest of the world, what the fuck do you think your cucumbers are being grown in? Or anything else that you consume that we grow. So, cannabis, come on. The cannabis has always been worth more than any other plant because so many people enjoy it. That's the problem here, is that so many of us like it. It is a big market. But we created the market, so keep that in mind as you go through life. This is ours, and the legal industry would be nowhere without us, having wanted cannabis, and we're willing to risk a great deal to actually have it. So now to ignore all of those people, and that would be in the millions here in Canada. There was millions of people enjoying cannabis on a regular basis before legalization, who were easily being provided by the black market because no other market existed. What?
That's all it was, illegal.
So that's a fair size. So the black market didn't go anywhere. Come on. It's going to be and it is not going to. It grew and grew and grew under the greatest depression of all time with fucking prohibition all these years. Come on. You poured billions and billions of dollars towards the enforcement here and came up with nothing. It's so little that you had to legalize it. You know, knew in the face of the fact that this was not going to stop. You thought you could legalize it and stop it, and not have the wherewithal to actually fulfill any one of your fucking mandates for legalizing. Keep us safe, protect our children from something that's never hurt a child yet. Hasn't even hurt a baby, for fuck's sakes.
Even some that accidentally consumed it, they're okay.
Hasn't hurt anyone. No children have ever been hurt from the use of cannabis by millions of people in this country, all fucking day long, every day. No one got hurt, but fuck, they don't want to look at that. That ain't worth nothing. Right? No money in that. Pretending you gotta to accept cannabis the way it is ain't worth nothing. You do not have a legal industry to ride on. It would be a fair, free market in a substance that doesn't present any harm. How could that now present any harm? If cannabis itself in all these years has not presented any harm, how could me standing on the fucking sidewalk with a table selling branches of marijuana, how could that present a danger now?
Big danger, it sounds like.
How could it? Never hurt a child, never hurt an old person, young person, in between person, male, female, other genders, hasn't hurt anyone. So what the fuck difference does it make? You go, here's a substance that doesn't hurt anyone, like to buy some? More than this, what do you need? The fuck do you need any control over it at all? In the black market, if your weed was covered with mildew and mold, like they're so fucking worried about it being, nobody buys it. Unfortunately, in legal cannabis, you do, because you don't get to see it. That's, we never bought it when we got to see it before. So now he took that away from us, and we end up having to buy that. Oh, it's dry. It doesn't really weigh what you were expecting it to weigh. Oh, wow. You know.
Yeah, like when I go to Rick's place, he shows me the weed in jars or bags, mostly jars, and then he shows me the scale when the weed's on it. He's like, look, and then we're like, we kind of do this. And then he puts it in a bag. I pay him and leave.
Yeah, so much to wrangle still here for me as a consumer to accept legal cannabis in my life to be anything. Come on. Can you imagine it would be this fucked up with any other thing? Any other thing? Why does it have to be with cannabis, eh? Because all the money, prohibition generated a tremendous amount of money. Simple as that. Going every which way, mostly to the police. So, police were fully involved in the legalization of cannabis in Canada to make sure they were still going to get their cut. And they did. They have. And more. That's what it's all
Way
about.
more.
Right? You had to have some marijuana that was continued to be illegal. They could justify their existence in getting the money that they were asking for. Flower children, etc.
Them damn hippies everywhere.
Yeah. So we hope science will reveal that one day. Wearing flowers in your hair. Did that when we were teenagers, for sure.
Like a
That's
rite of passage.
Sauble Beach. Sauble Beach is where I first smoked cannabis. In the sand dunes at night.
Yeah, mine was back at the crates over here in Dowling at night. And it was called the crates because we used to take milk crates and take them there and burn them. And I went the other day on the 4-wheeler and there's still like plastic all in the ground. Like it's like hard. I was like, what is that? And I looked down, it's like melted plastic.
From what?
Those milk crates. They used to keep records in. We used to burn them all the time. You turn it upside down and then you just light the corner on fire and it just starts a little and then burns for a long time.
Huh? Never done that.
I
Just
think they did it because the grocery store was right behind and you could easily grab a milk crate and go. It was passed down through stoner generations in Dowling here.
All right, man. Well, I think we should get out of here. Appreciate everybody tuning in today. Thanks to Anil, as always, for putting this together.
Zoom.
Face would pop over, so. Not just make gestures.
Wild, vulgar gestures.
Mr. Cookie was here. Good to hear your voice and see your face.
Yeah, good for having me. It's always good to see what's going on cannabis world-wise.
It's always fire with you.
Always fire. Having a fire, smoking fire.
So yeah, tune in to all the shows here on Pot TV all frickin' week long. And keep up to date on stuff. Hope everybody has good weed to smoke and easy access to it. And until the next time we meet, I'll still be Marijuana Man. Peace and pot.
All right, welcome to the THC show with Neil, where we talk about the unpleasant truths of our system and our democracy here.
I help patients. I know what you're saying. I got rated for growing, and I'm staring at the cracks in the wall doing time, and I'm trying to figure out who I hurt. No victim, no crime.
And we look for avenues of hope and ways that we can change some things. As you can see, there's a lot of people, and there's a lot of care packs that we're handing out there. I am not a criminal.
Wow, look at this. Right, yeah. It's 420 for sure now. Got you.
And I'll be back next Tuesday for another episode of THC, Truth, Hope, and Change. Go about changing the world as best you can, and while you're doing it, just have as much fun as you can. Thank you.
Hi there. Welcome to the 420 Lifestyle Show. I'm Carly Marley. She's taking a dab. Thanks.
We can play the Sick Moose video.
Oh yes, Sick and Moose video. Let's play the Sick and Moose video.
Yeah, so that's my home. That's like all over the place, I guess.
It helps the speaker lead his audience into the scene he describes.
Oh, I'm rolling out the fattest joint I could possibly fit in this paper.
Perfect.